Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to my studio. My name is Ed, and today we're starting the third video in our series aimed at increasing your drawing skills. Now, if you haven't seen my first two videos, I would recommend hitting the pause button, going back and watching those two videos first. However, in the first video, we mentioned Maria Montessori, and we mentioned that one of her famous quotes was that in order to confer the gift of drawing, we need eyes that see, hands that obey, and a soul that feels. Now today, in this video, we're going to look at three exercises that are aimed specifically at doing that. You're not going to want to miss it. So hang around and we'll get started. Thanks. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to go over three exercises that are designed specifically to increase our ability to see and our hands to obey. Now, what exactly are we learning to see? And in my last video, we discussed this, and we said that learning to draw is really similar to learning how to read. And just as somebody who's learning to read, they at first just see a jumble of letters on the page. As they learn to see like a reader would see, they start to see not just letters, but words. And they see punctuation. They see vowels, consonants, and they're able to start seeing sentences and paragraphs and learning how to interpret these stories or words before them. The same thing with learning to draw. So specifically, an artist will see the elements of art: lines, shapes, colors, textures, values, and such. Today we're going to specifically look at line. All right, guys. So I have my other screen set up here, and you'll be able to see how I'm drawing, what I'm drawing in this screen. And what I'm going to recommend is the first thing, just go grab yourself a drawing. Be a work of art, it can be any work of art, but specifically the best would be a drawing. Because we're really focusing on line work today, drawing is great because it really clearly shows just the line work. Now, I would recommend, I'm going to have a link in the description below to the Smithsonian Museum. Now, this website is you're free to download all these great works of art. It's all copyright free. And I would recommend looking for a drawing, right? One of the best ways to learn how to improve our artwork is by copying the masters. Just doing that over and over, and it really improves our ability tremendously. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this drawing. We have, it would appear to be, I don't know, honestly, who these, it looks like three women, maybe three angels. I don't know. We're looking up at them. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What we're going to do is turn that drawing upside down. So we're going to draw this way. We're going to draw a copy from it upside down. Now, a lot of people say, Ed, hold on, man. It's upside down. I can't draw it. And that's precisely the point. Okay, in my last video, I mentioned, I said, we can't draw what we know. We have to draw what we see. And that comes up over and over again. We have a default, when we're just learning to draw, we have a default to draw what we know rather than what we see. And I gave an illustration with a glass, right? Now we know the top of the glass is circular, but if we were to draw that and I illustrate it on the paper, it doesn't look right. So this is actually a great book I recommend checking out. It's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. Now, it goes into great depth about the processes between drawing with the right side of the brain versus the left side. Now, to summarize what she's saying, and I'm probably going to butcher this book up a little bit, and I'm going to, I guess, give it my own warped interpretation. But the way I interpret what she's saying in that book is that, we have the right side of the brain is responsible for certain functions and the left side is responsible for other functions. Now, as she goes in to describe these things, I start to form this mental picture of the left side of my brain. And I start to think of the left side of the brain is kind of like, if you ever had this experience, maybe you were in school and there was somebody that was really smart, but they thought they were like 10 times smarter than what they really were. And they felt as though they could do everything. And if you're working in a group, well, it was their way, right? We had to do it their way because their way was the best. And it's kind of like the left brain. The left brain wants to do everything. Look, the left brain is great. I love my left brain. But when it comes to drawing, left brain has to kind of just be quiet and let the right brain do what it does best. Now, there's different ways we can accomplish that. One way we can accomplish that is by putting out a drawing here that it doesn't recognize. So the left brain is the side that wants to draw what it knows. It loves to label things, right? It loves to say, okay, I'm going to draw hair now. I'm going to draw an eye now. And when we go about in that mode, we tend to draw what we think it should look like, rather than what it really looks like. Okay, so that's why I put an emphasis on drawing what we see. We need to see the lines and the shapes and the values. We can't put on that our preconceived ideas of what it should look like. So it's with that thought in mind that we take a drawing, we turn it upside down. So what we're going to do is called a contour drawing. And we pick out a line, any line, and for 5 minutes, we're going to draw very slowly. And we're going to pick out a line, and we're going to copy that line as best we can. And we're going to go very slowly. Now, chances are, hopefully, after 5 minutes goes by, I will not finish this drawing. That's okay. That's good. This is just practice. So I'm looking at those lines, and I'm just copying those shapes really slowly. In fact, I'm going to get lost, so to speak, in just looking at these little nuances, the little curves, the little bumps. I don't care about finishing the drawing. I don't care what I'm drawing. I'm just simply losing myself in these shapes. Now, as you progress in this drawing, you're going to find when you're done after 5 minutes, your drawing's going to look like crap. It's not going to look wonderful. That's okay. This is just an exercise. We're not creating a work of art. It's exercise. So as we go through these 3 exercises, keep this in mind. If you're on a football team and the coach says, okay, guys, today we're going to go to the gym and work out. And I say, well, gee, coach, what does this have to do with football? I just want to catch the ball and run. And he says, well, getting strong is part of that process in becoming a better football player, right? So this is just an exercise. This is like us going to the gym. We're exercising, we're working out, seeing, getting those eyes to really see those lines and getting those hands to really obey. So set that timer. We're just going to proceed like this, 5 minutes. If you run off the page, it's okay. Come back, start somewhere else, keep going. Okay, so upside down drawing, 5 minutes. Next, take the same drawing, turn it right side up. Great, wonderful. Now I can really draw, you're saying, right? Well, no. We're going to call this a blind contour. Okay, we're not going to look at what we're drawing. I'm sorry, we're going to look only at what we're drawing, not how we're drawing. So I'm going to pick out a part on the paper, and for 5 minutes, I'm just going to focus on those lines. I'm going to go really slowly, right? And I'm just kind of examining each shape, each bump. And if I get lost where I am, resist the urge to look at your drawing. Resist it. Some of us are going to be like overwhelmed with frustration. I got to see it. I got to see it. Well, let it go. Look, I just looked at it. Let it go. Don't look at it. Don't worry about it. We're just training ourselves to look at our drawing. We just care at those lines we're making. What we're doing here is secondary to what's going on there. Okay? So 5 minutes. Lastly, third exercise, keep your drawing right side up. Now, what we're going to do is have a dialogue. It's called a dialogue between what's happening here and what's happening here. This is a little more closely related to regular drawing. And we're going to pick out a spot and just try to copy that line exactly as it appears on the paper. So I can look back and forth. I'm looking at my drawing, looking at the paper, looking at the drawing, at the paper. Notice I'm going really slow, very slow. The slower, the better. If it helps to imagine maybe an ant or a bug just kind of walking along that line, you're going to follow his path. Just follow what he's doing. And you're going to do this for 5 minutes. Will you finish? Doesn't matter. I don't know. Who cares? The drawing, is it going to look like crap? Probably. That's okay. Are things going to be out of proportion? Yeah, most certainly. But at this stage of the game, we don't care. We don't worry about the proportions. We only care simply about looking at those lines, training ourselves to look at those lines. And you'll notice for some of us, we're making that shift from thinking on being left brain oriented, and we're making that shift to the right brain. For some of us, we're going to feel a little frustration. We're going to feel a little anxiety. That's not so much you feeling that anxiety, but that part of your brain that's trying to hold on. The left part of your brain is going to be frustrated, and that's okay. We want that. There's going to come a point in where you're going to make that shift. The left brain is going to be, I don't want to do this. Good, we want that. Let him go sit in the corner, be by himself. The right brain will take over. And you'll notice all of a sudden, that 5 minutes might seem like it went by in no time whatsoever. The right side of the brain doesn't worry about time. So just allow yourself to make that shift to the right side of the brain. Allow yourself to get lost in the line work. One thing that might help, turn on some music. The right side of the brain loves music, and that will help you kind of get in that feeling of just drawing. Okay, now if you could do that, if you could do 3 exercises, 5 minutes each, 15 minutes of drawing every day for the next week, your drawing will start to really just take off. Now imagine doing that for a year. Imagine not just doing contour drawing, but as we start to learn about shading, as we learn about gesture drawing and proportions and all sorts of stuff, your drawings are really going to come alive. So I hope you'll join me in my next video, where we're going to do some exercises that are completely opposite from this. While this would go really slow, gesture drawing, we go really fast. So guys, thanks for being with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye.